Let's try that again. I apologize. Something happened with my iPad. I haven't used it in a long time. But hello, everyone. Just wanted to get on and read a book to you today because I know all of the things that are going on in the world have kind of taken us away from being at school, and I really miss everybody. So I can see that people are logging in now. I didn't see anything at first. Um, Hi, kiddos. I miss you a lot. Kind of bored, but want to check in and kind of start this Tales with Miss Fennell gig and do what I can to kind of uplift the spirits. I know parents are kind of going insane right now with their kids being at home, but I really miss them. So I am going to try to get on every day at noon to read a book to kids. If something happens, then I'll let you know if I can't. But I'm really excited, and I thank all of you guys for tuning in today. I can see that some of my students are on right now, and if my students know me, best present and past students, they know that reading is my jam. I love reading. I think it's the fundamentals of everything. You can't do anything without being able to read because it sets the foundation for everything else. So let's get started. So today, the book that I chose to read has something to do with the bucket. There are so many things that you can do with the bucket. Some things that me and my family used to do when we were younger is we used to have water balloon fights or water fights, period. Didn't matter what we were using, but something that we used to use is a bucket to fill up the water to see who could have the most water in the bucket and do the most damage. So it's easy when your bucket is full because you're excited about it, you feel good, you want to pour the water on everybody. But then when you empty the bucket, you're not as happy as you should be. So let's read this story called How Full Is Your Bucket for Kids. The author of the book is Tom Rath and Mary Reckmer, and it's illustrated by Marie Manning. I will slow down so everybody can see the pictures because I know it's kind of hard. Felix was putting one of the last blocks on his tower when his little sister came in. "I want to build with you," she said. Felix scowled. "Go away. You're too little." I'm sure that's something I probably told my brother when he was little too. "I'm big. Stay back. I can be very careful. Go play with your baby toys, Annie." I can see she's mad. She drew a picture of her brother and scribbled it out. And now I can see she's even more upset because she knocked down her brother's blocks. Oh my gosh, I wonder what he's going to do. "Grandpa!" Sounds like she's tattling, or he's tattling. Grandpa shook his head. "Felix, you just dripped from your sister's bucket. Like everyone else, Anna has an invisible bucket. When it's empty, she feels bad. But when it's full, she feels great. Didn't you ever notice your own bucket?" Invisible bucket? Sometimes Felix couldn't quite tell when his grandfather was joking. Wonder if Grandpa's joking. Let's find out. But the next morning, when Felix woke up, there was a small gray bucket floating over his head. Uh-oh, guys, I think Grandpa was right because there's his bucket. When Felix came down to have breakfast, his mom was in a hurry. "I got a meeting this morning and it's almost time to go. Anna, sit still." It doesn't look like he is having a good time over there. And I can tell right now, everybody, what can we tell about his bucket? We can tell that his bucket is quite full right now. Let's see if that changes throughout the story. Felix slipped and the cocoa wheat scatters across the floor. "Felix," yelled his mom, "you should have used a stool to reach that." Felix could feel his bucket tip and big invisible drops spill out. Drip, drip. Ha ha! Anna laughed as she crunched the cereal with her shoe. Drip. Get the broom and clean that up before you miss the bus, scolded Mom. Scolded. I think that means that he's getting in trouble. With the school bus honking, Felix quickly slipped up the cocoa eats and grabbed the last blueberry muffin. But before he could even take one bite, friends, I know I see these little dots, and that means that something is getting ready to happen. What do you think is going to happen next? Buster jumped up and grabbed the muffin from his hand. Trip. Look at what's happening to Felix's bucket, guys. Hey, look at Felix's new backpack. My baby brother has one just like it. Drip. Psst. Felix. Psst. Drip. I noticed that there are bad things that are happening, like people making fun of Felix, the dog eating Felix's muffin, and now people are talking behind Felix's back, and every time that happens, I hear a drip. What do you think that means? Let's keep reading to find out. Watch out, shrimp. Drip. It was still morning, and Felix's bucket was almost empty. I can see on his face that he looks a little upset because he's red, his eyes are making that funny face, and his eyebrows are up. And I noticed that his bucket is empty. So now I know that when all the bad things or the mean things happen to Felix, or you, if you have your invisible bucket, because we all do, that means that your bucket gets empty. So now I want to know, how can my bucket get full again? As he watched his classmates walk into the room, he secretly hoped that they would all trip and fall. That's what it feels like when you have an empty bucket. So I noticed that when your bucket is empty, you're kind of a mean person. Felix slumped into his seat and waited for something else bad to happen. Miss Bumbernickel walked slowly up to his desk and handed him a paper. He could hardly bear to look. Felix, you wrote a wonderful story. Would you please share it with the class? Felix grinned and felt a big drop land into his bucket. Drop. So I heard drip means it was taking it away. Now I hear drop. That means that something's added. So what is happening differently in the story that's making the drops come back? Drop, plop, plink, drop. The Gynosaurus who wanted a pet by me, Felix. The class grew quiet. They laughed at all the right places and oohed at all the scary parts. When Felix finally read the end, everyone clapped. Even Emily, who sat next to him and didn't usually like dinosaurs. Felix felt a whole shower of drops land in his bucket. Maybe the day wouldn't be that bad after all. Drop. Team captains today are Veronica and Felix. Drop. Nice cow. It's a dog. Well, nice colors there, Felix. Cool laser ant backpack, Felix. Oh, look at Felix's bucket now, friends. By afternoon, Felix's bucket was nearly full. At recess, when he looked around, Felix suddenly realized that his grandpa was right. Everyone else had a bucket too. Drop, drop. Let me help you. Drop, drop. Here's your baseball. Catch. Thanks, dude. Drop, drop. Hi, I'm Felix. First day? Yeah, I'm Amir. The strange thing was, that for every drop he helped put in someone else's bucket, he felt another drop in his bucket too. So you mean to tell me that if I am nice to people, then I will get drops in my bucket too? Let's try to make sure that we do all the nice things to add to our bucket. When Felix burst in the door after school, he shouted, "You were right, Grandpa. I do have a bucket, and I understand how it works." Then he saw Anna's torn doll. "Bad dog," he scolded. But then he thought, dogs might have invisible buckets too. "Your doll will be okay, Anna," said Felix. "Mom will fix her." Until then, do you want to help me build the tallest building in the world with my blocks? And so they did. The end. So, something that we've been learning in class is how to tell what the central message is of the story. And if I think about central message, that is what the author wants me to learn and apply to my own life. And when I think about how full is your bucket, I'm thinking that helping others fill their bucket will keep mine full too. And I know that we're right now in a time where we're stuck in the house. We might be bored. The video games are getting boring. We don't want to play on the computer. I think this is a perfect time for you to think about, how can I keep my bucket full, but help people fill their buckets too? Whether that's helping moms and dads with the chores, or giving hugs, or writing your teachers a note, or whatever it may be around the house to help out. Make sure that you are keeping your bucket full, but you're filling other people's buckets too. Until next time, guys, I will talk to you later. Be a bucket filler, and I will see you tomorrow.